Milk and Dairy Development, Government of Tamil Nadu. Good evening, sir. Respected Vice Chancellor, Chennai University, Dr. Velraj. Respected former Additional Secretary, Policy and Plan, National Disaster Management Authority. Sir. Respected ACS and Secretary, Department of Environment, Climate Change and Forest. Respected Director, CCCDM, Anna University. Respected Advocate, Mr. Seva. Respected Professor, Dr. RAMAN, and all other dignitaries, students and participants. Very good evening. So, last week, respected Minister has talked to me regarding this workshop being conducted in Anna University and requested to participate in this workshop. This is one of the main focus on this workshop is disaster management, mainly the community-based disaster risk management. See, the Mizam and southern districts flood has given a lot of, we have learned a lot of things from these two disasters. So the previous speakers have highlighted the community-based disaster risk management part. That is very, very important. What we have done that, respected Honorable Chief Minister and their cabinet ministers used to conduct the meeting and give directions and review the preparedness level of the state. Usually, see whenever the northeast monsoon starts, this procedure should be followed. That will be conducted with the help of SDMA, that is the State Level Disaster Management Authority. We are doing that. But what is happening that we are making all arrangements, seeing that the monsoon can be handled. But nowadays, monsoon is becoming very dangerous, become a disaster. So at that point of time, we have to learn more things about disasters. See, the climate change has done its part, and the frequency as well as the intensity has also, intensity of disasters have also increased. So what we have to do and how we can mitigate, how we can face the disasters and how can we save the people from disaster. That is the main point behind this workshop. See, during this December 2023, two disasters we faced. In these two disasters, we used to send our honorable ministers to the affected places and the IAS officers to the affected place to support the collectors to handle this situation. That is the usual practice we have been following right from the tsunami eras. That is in 2005 onwards. But that is not the right thing. We have to reduce the pressure on officers as well as the ministers. See, for which we have to see that the community-based disaster management technique has to be adopted and followed scrupulously in our state. See, last week we have 4 officers from Tamil Nadu attended the cyclone risk reduction technique. That is the training in Orissa. Bhubaneswar, we went there, sir. 3 days we have attended the training. In the training, respected Thiru sir has also mentioned about Orissa's question on how they are dealing the disaster. That is very true. Their main focus is zero casualty. That is the main mantra they have been telling. Whoever came to our training program, the faculty used to tell that faculty are all high-level officers and the experts in the field. They used to tell that the zero casualty is their mantra. Then the next one is the community engagement in all areas they have been dealing the disasters. So that we have learned. 3 things they have highlighted. See, there is no fixed technique for dealing any disaster. There is no solution for any disaster, fixed technique or any fixed solution for any disasters. See, our fundamentals should be very, very strong. First thing. The next one is the approach. That should also be very strong. Third one is the strong SOP should be there. These three things we have to follow. For dealing with any disaster, these three things we should always have. Then only we can deal any disaster hereafter. So that is the these three things they have highlighted, and we have also understood that their capacity building programs are all very strong, and we came to know that their state level disaster response force is very strong. That is WADRAF. They are having their response force always kept them ready to face or go to any disaster places whenever it occurs. So their readiness is very excellent, and they are also fully equipped to deal with the any disaster. That we have seen that. Here we have TNDRF. We have to equip them very well. After seeing that, we have to give them many life-saving equipments and all other search and rescue equipments to them. The next department is the fire and rescue services. They are also our first responders. These two departments are playing as the first responders for any state. So we have to make them ready, and we have to equip them very well in future due course of time. They have to see that any disaster can be handled with the help of state government. They are not depending on NDRF. The NDRF is very underreplaced in Orissa, sir. Whereas wherever disaster happens in all other states, we used to depend on NDRF. Used to call them, and we are telling that we have used NDRF forces for saving the people. But in Orissa, they are telling that NDRF is never they are calling. Only for airdropping and other functions only they used to call the NDRF. These two departments are very, very important as far as state governments are concerned. So that is the one point we have learned. And the next one is the training. So we have to train them very well to deal any sort of disaster or any major events are occurring. For example, if you might have recalled that Balasore or that what is that train accident. 3 trains were involved in a train accident. At that time, even they have also didn't know that how to cut the train compartments. The plasma cutters they need. At that time, they didn't have the record number of plasma cutters. The technical skills they have to acquire from the departments, the concerned department. They learned that from trial and error method. After doing 3 to 4 times, they learned that how to cut the train bogies and rescue the people. So all sort of things they have been doing there, and they have been playing a major force behind the people, how to save the people at the time of disasters. Then the next one is the training the department people. We have to break the silo. See, we have the very good medical and the health department officials or the staff. We are the topmost as far as health is concerned. We are the toppers. I mean, in all over India, Tamil Nadu health system is the one of the not one of the, that is the topmost department. But we have to train them as far as disaster in the field of disaster whenever it strikes our state. See, for example, we know that how many pregnant ladies are there in our state. They have been tracked by the VHN or urban health nurses. See, no, at the time of cyclone striking our state, we exactly know that before 48 hours, which area will be affected. That is the 1 or 2 disease or 4 disease, whatever the disease may be. We exactly know the exact area. At that time, we have to tell the VHN to contact the pregnant ladies to move the pregnant ladies to the safer place. For example, hospitals are nearby shelters, whatever it may be. We know that expected delivery date. So that based on that one, we have to save the pregnant ladies to the safer place. We can keep them in a safer place. That is the main idea. In Orissa, they used to do that, and for which they have charted out a beautiful SOP. See who has to contact, how they can be brought to the separate place. All everything is written in an SOP, and that will be followed by them without any lapses. So that is the success behind their community-based disaster risk management in Orissa. So likewise, the other departments like, for example, factories concerned. See the Manali area, we face the oil spill. See that incident can be tackled by using the capacity building training and the departments as well as the community engagement. That can also be, we have to think over it, and we have to incorporate in our SOP or whatever the in future plans we will do that. The next thing is the community based disaster risk management. So the community participation, that is the next third thing we learned from there. The community participation has become a community movement, not a community participation. See, in each and every village they have 50 volunteers. In each and every village they have a 50 volunteers. Out of these 50, 25 are trying to do the search and rescue operations whenever the disaster strikes. The other part of 25 persons are trained for first aid techniques. So these 50 volunteers are having the skilled, they learned skilled trainings techniques. They have been trained by the skilled person, retired army persons, retired fire service persons. All these master trainers are identified, and they are being trained by the these master trainers. So these 50 persons all along, each and every time they are changing or they are replacing wherever it is required. Whereas in every time you can see that 50 volunteers will be. These 50 volunteers, apart from that, cyclone shelters are constructed around 900 shelters are constructed all along the coastal districts. See that cyclone shelters are now functioning as a knowledge centers. I have told them this has become a knowledge center. In cyclone shelters, they can accommodate around 1,000 people at any point of time. See the disaster strikes, they used to evacuate the people, and they keep in the cyclone shelters. See that cyclone shelter is having the informations about the village, the what are the vulnerable areas, who are all the vulnerable people, what are the resources available in the village. All these informations are available in the shelters. These shelters are managed and maintained by a shelter management committee. That committee also having around 22 people, including the president and other elected members, and even the local people, plus the NGO, the concerned block level nodal NGO. All these people are managing that shelter. See, these 50 volunteers plus these 22 people, around 75 people, always available in a village to deal any disaster. That is the success behind their disaster management and the disaster rescue operations in Orissa. So these, apart from that, early warning system is installed in the cyclone shelter. So whenever that information forecast is given by IMD and the SDMA, that will be broadcasted, that will be given to the people. We are also having around 400 early warning systems all along our coastal area from Thiru to Kanyakumari. We are also doing the same exercise, but they have set up in the cyclone shelters deliberately. Whatever the subjects connected with the disaster, that is available in the shelters, that is the cyclone shelters. That is why it has become a knowledge center. Apart from that, main thing, sir, respected Thiru sir has also highlighted the mock drill. In Chennai, we didn't conducted mock drill before this 2023 December. So that is the main thing. See, in Orissa also, we have seen that they have told every year on June 19th, they are conducting the mock exercise all over the state. That is the fixed date. Every year they are conducting. Before that, the previous day, they are conducting a tabletop exercise in which all these community people, community people, as well as the government officials are also engaged, and they are assessing that what is going on in the all places. That mock exercise is doing that, refreshing their knowledge. That is the one thing. Next one is the village level disaster management plan is also prepared by the committee, the shelter management committee, that will be placed before the village Gram Sabha, and it is after that it is presented to the government. They are also giving the award for best written plans. This is the village level various developments we have seen in the in Orissa as far as this disaster is concerned. So all these have become a eye opener for them and eye opener for us. And we have also discussed this in the our higher officials. See, last week also CS Chief Secretary has also conducted one workshop in which all department officials and all officers have also come, and they have also shared their views and ideas about how can we deal the disaster hereafter. What are all the points we have to take into account, and how can we draw a plan for doing that these things. So based on that, the next course of actions. Apart from that, we have also proposed to set up regional level rescue centers as well as the regional level relief shelters. That is the Mr. Seva has highlighted. His father used to talk about the bread and milk as well as the bike. That is the same thing we discussed. Immediately after the Chennai flood, our boss has highlighted about this one. So the main demand after that cyclone was the people were not given adequate food and milk. That was the main accusation. That has also, we have done all sort of arrangements. We have also given all sort of informations to the people. But whereas that informations and the preparedness is not adequate. The first and foremost requirement of the people is their food and safety, for which we have not concentrated on that, and for next 2 days we have struggled lot to give food to the people. So that is also a eye opener for us. That has also been taken into account for preparing our plan, and we have proposed to set up the regional level shelters. For example, if Velachari means, in Velachari itself we will put up a relief shelters, and in that relief shelters all required search and rescue equipments will also be kept there, as well as the food and all materials will be kept in the relief shelters, like milk powder as well as bread. Everything will be kept there before the any event is coming up, or after the forecast is given. Then it will be replenished, or it will be given somewhere else. So likewise, some of the things are coming up, and we are also making ourselves ready and do that our part of things to meet any exigencies future, sir. So this workshop has given an immense self experience, and how can we deal the disaster hereafter, and next year also. See, this year February has started. So before this next year, this year December, we have to be fully equipped. We have to fully equipped, and we should face the any exigencies with whatever the success or whatever the lapses are there. It will be addressed, and we will face the any disaster successfully, and we will save the people. Our main agenda is zero casualty. That will also be achieved in future, sir. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity.